Hi everybody, I'm at the Judy Garland Museum in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, and right behind me is Judy Garland's birthplace when she was Frances Gumm, and it's kind of fun to think that she and I were both born in the same state. I'm about to go into the museum and I'm going to share everything with you. I've been here before, it's fantastic, and then I'll also show you the inside of the birthplace when I go in there, so stay tuned. Right when you walk in, you're immediately met by these little dance shoes, and it's incredible to me that they still have them. I always gravitate to original memorabilia, vintage memorabilia, and particularly things that the celebrity wore or used in a film. And of course, I love these shoes that she wore in Meet Me in St. Louis. She wore these button-up shoes in the Harvey Girls, and you can tell that she had very small feet. She was only about 5 feet tall, and her feet were about a size 5. So these shoes are all very small. Some of these, like this pair right here, you can tell are from the 60s. I thought this painting was particularly gorgeous from the Presenting Lily Mars era. The pièce de résistance for a lot of people in the museum is this carriage that was driven by the horse of a different color when they entered Oz, and it is pretty amazing and in beautiful shape. Another highlight was the Dorothy test dress, and ironically, in my job at Bonham's auction house in Los Angeles, I was a curator on many of the film memorabilia sales that they had, and I had this dress in my office for quite a few months in preparation for the sale. The pair of ruby slippers that were on display are a replica pair because, of course, the original pair that had been displayed at the museum were stolen in 2005 and miraculously discovered in 2018, and apparently it's coming to trial sometime this year, according to the woman who worked at the museum. A couple of other cool pieces from The Wizard of Oz were this watercolor production art and a spear used by one of the Winkies. And also this hat that she wore in A Star is Born from the Peanuts song. Sorry, I just had to. Some other really cool pieces were this makeup case of hers, these little glasses, which were a gift from Frank Sinatra, her dressing room plaque from the Palace Theater, I love this, and this beautiful ensemble from the 1940s. And then I loved this music book and sheet music for You Made Me Love You, and photos of her with Clark Gable, and then some beautiful autograph photos. I also love this apparently long lost painting of Judy Garland doing the Minnie from Trinidad number from Ziegfeld Girl, because Ziegfeld Girl is my favorite Judy Garland movie. There was also a whole wall of pictures of Judy doing her thing for the war effort, and it was really pretty amazing how many things she did and how involved she was, and not just for the war effort, after the war as well. The funny thing is that she went on a war bond drive with a bunch of stars, including Fred Astaire, during the war, and later when she made Easter Parade with him, which was after the war of course, she claimed to have never met him. I couldn't tell if this Edith Head sketch for I Could Go On Singing was an original or not. It wasn't labeled as such, so it probably is a reproduction, but it's a great sketch, so I wanted to share it with you. In 1939 to 1940, Judy was a regular on Bob Hope's radio show, and he donated these great candid photos of them together to the museum. I'm not a big collector of toys, but I thought some of you might be interested in seeing all of the different vintage and more modern toys available regarding The Wizard of Oz. Yikes! So on to the home. I was surprised at how big this house is. Frank and Ethel Gum were Judy Garland's parents. Her name was Frances Gum, and they had two other daughters. And they owned this house and lived in it from 1919 to 1926 while they were part owners of the New Grand Theater in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. The first room here is off the kitchen. The furniture in the house is of the period. It wasn't used by the Gum family. And the photos in this room are ancestral photos from Frank and Ethel Gum's families. From there, you enter the kitchen, and apparently the museum got a lot of their information about how the house was arranged from Judy Garland's sister, Virginia, and from a young high school girl who was living there helping out the family. The dining room here is just gorgeous, and it does show that Frank Gum must have been doing pretty well at the New Grand Theater, because this is definitely upper middle class. The living room is also quite beautiful. All of the flooring, the radiators, most of the windows are all true to the house, original to the house. On the stairway here is where the Gum sisters would practice their music, and their mother, of course, played the piano. Now up the stairs to the bedrooms and the bathroom. This little room was shared by Judy's sisters, Susie, the oldest, and Jimmy, also known as Virginia. And apparently this has the original plaster walls. Here we're going into Ethel and Frank's room, and Judy, or little Frances, slept with them in this room. And here's my very patient dog, Vivian, who walked through the whole house with me. And before I end this video, I just have to show this photo of me from the 1980s with several of the original Munchkins. Pretty thrilling. I'm so proud that my home state has a Judy Garland Museum. She deserves every accolade. If you get a chance to go to Grand Rapids, Minnesota, please stop by the museum. You will not regret it. Thanks again for watching.